Next on News 3 Now at 10, Shake the Lake is tonight, and police are trying something new this year to keep an eye on the crowd. And it finally feels like summer, what paramedics are saying about how to stay safe in the heat. Plus, a local festival is looking to promote the health benefits of honey and protect the bees.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
Thanks for joining News 3 Now at 10. I'm Amanda Quintana. Police have a new way to protect the crowds gathered downtown for this year's Shake the Lake event. Adam Duxter just got back from taking a look at how officers are using the sky to help with safety tonight. Adam?
Yeah, well, Amanda, just a few years ago, officers with the Madison Police Department say they never would have had this opportunity. But for this year's Shake the Lake event, they'll be policing from the sky, a way they've never done before.
Tonight, thousands are downtown for fun in the sun, part of this year's Shake the Lake.
A lot of people out here make a day out of it. They hit State Street, hit the square.
And while for many, Shake the Lake is a time to relax, for Madison Police, it's time to go to work.
It's being prepared for anything that could happen.
Lieutenant Dave McCaw handles specials events for Madison Police and says Shake the Lake presents all kinds of challenges for the department. But this year, he'll be relying for help from above.
It's the eye in the sky, so it's the level that you can't see.
Police have 2 drones in the air feeding real-time video to other officers in a command post.
So they're a live feed to the command post. And so the command post will be able to see everything live action as it's happening and then direct us on the ground to where it's going.
They say it's all about real-time communication in case of an emergency.
It's always nice to know that our commanders and kind of our boots on the ground have an overhead, and if they need some kind of assistance, we can be there to provide it.
And that tonight, if they're trying to locate a missing child or find a criminal, they can do it much faster and much easier.
It helps the people in the command post make better decisions because you're able to see things. It's a force multiplier. It doesn't cost a lot, and the benefits in a tragedy are, if this happens to one kid, it's paid for itself.
Police say this real-time response helps them with all sorts of things, from finding missing children to helping with the water rescue if necessary. They say they'll now use these drones to help out at other events throughout the year.
All right, thank you so much, Adam. Let's get a look at your first alert weather with Dave Caulfield out on the patio. We do have some storms on the way, right, Dave?
Yes, and some could be severe as we head into late tomorrow morning into early tomorrow afternoon. The humidity is definitely there to provide that fuel for the storms, and that humidity sticking around tonight, but at least we get a nice show in Madison. The fireworks starting over Lake Monona, and we could see them next to the Capitol there on the WISC-TV Skycam, so that is at least nice. Currently at 77 degrees for the fireworks. It was a warm one today when temperatures hit 90 degrees for the first time in 2019 in Madison. Still feeling a little bit closer to 80 degrees. 80 in Platteville right now, 81 in Janesville, a little bit cooler near Lake Michigan. Dew points are still in the 70s for many of us across southern Wisconsin. It's that tropical air that is still in place and making it still feel like 85. At the 10 o'clock hour in Platteville. Temperatures will fall through the 70s overnight, hang out right around 70 degrees as we get into Sunday morning. And then by the time we get to later Sunday morning, temperatures in the 80s, and that could help fuel some showers and thunderstorms. We'll go hour by hour and talk about when this humidity lets up in your first alert forecast in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Dave. More local news now. Summer temperatures are here, and with it comes the opportunity to spend some time outside, but it's important to stay safe in the heat. Firefighters and paramedics say that people should use common sense when they're spending the day outside. This means drinking plenty of water and taking breaks in the shade or air-conditioned areas. Symptoms of heat exhaustion could include dizziness, fatigue, and general weakness.
We'll have more output than they have intake, and then that's where people get heat exhaustion and they get heat stroke.
If someone is experiencing heat exhaustion symptoms and has an altered mental state, they should seek immediate medical attention. And now that the heat is upon us, it's time for a reminder to watch out for your pets. All dogs are susceptible to overheating. Dogs with full coats and flat noses are especially quick to overheat. They need shade and cool, clean water available at all times. And no matter your good intentions, taking dogs in cars where you will need to leave them for even less than 5 minutes can harm them. Even with cracked windows, heat can cause brain and organ damage and even death in just minutes. According to the American Veterinary Medical Association, hundreds of pets needlessly die in cars every year. Authorities have left the scene of a missing swimmer in Stoughton. Dane County Dispatch confirms they were responding to reports of a missing swimmer on Mant Parkway in Stoughton. Officials say they were called at 4:53 this afternoon. Stoughton Fire and police were on the scene. We will continue following the story and update you on channel3000.com. A woman who escaped from Huber Center in Baraboo Wednesday evening is still on the run. Sauk County police say Jasmine Rose Decora walked out of the center at around 6:30 Wednesday night while she was serving her sentence. Authorities are searching for Decora, but police could not confirm her current whereabouts or where she was last seen. Officials say the Sauk County District Attorney's Office will issue a warrant for her arrest if she's found. A Janesville police canine is about to start treatment for skin cancer. Janesville police say canine Fred was diagnosed with melanoma earlier this month. His back paw was hurt and part of the pad had to be removed. When that section of pad was analyzed, vets saw it was positive for the cancer. Further tests showed the cancer hadn't spread to the rest of his body. He starts treatment next week, and in the meantime, he's continuing to serve. A woman is dead and her husband is missing after a scuba diving incident on Lake Michigan near South Milwaukee. Police say the Coast Guard responded to a call from a dive boat that a person had surfaced and was unresponsive yesterday afternoon. That person, who officials say returned to the surface from a depth of 300 feet, was later pronounced dead. The Coast Guard then received another call from that same boat saying that one of the 3 other divers had become separated and was missing. Officials suspended the search for that missing diver this afternoon.
We thought the first case was kind of a standalone, and then when we found out there was a second person missing, our boat went out, the helicopter refueled.
The Milwaukee County Sheriff's Office released the identities of those involved in the accident this afternoon. The divers were 53-year-old Illinois residents James and Susan Wynn. A boat driver and 2 other divers on the boat were not hurt. The Milwaukee Police Department is saying goodbye to its 4th police officer killed in a little more than a year. Visitation services for Officer Koo Her were held this weekend at Good Hope Center in Milwaukee. His funeral will be Monday morning. Officer Her was driving home after his shift when he was killed by a hit-and-run driver in Milwaukee on June 18th.
Officer Her is going to be remembered as a person who brought the police department together, played his role in bringing us closer together.
Officers from across the state lines visited Milwaukee today to pay their respects. Her leaves behind his parents, 8 siblings, and countless nieces and nephews. Happening today, another unusual round of diplomacy for President Trump. He's offered to shake hands with Kim Jong-un at the DMZ and hit the reset button with China. Wei Zhejiang is traveling with the president in Korea.
President Trump arrived to Seoul today with a warm welcome from South Korean President Moon Jae-in. But it's North Korea on his mind.
We're going to the DMZ. I said, while I'm there, I'll shake his hand. We get along.
Just hours earlier, the president used Twitter to invite Kim Jong-un to meet him at the DMZ, the demilitarized border between the North and the South. Mr. Trump said he would even cross over, something no U.S. president has ever done.
Sure, I would. I'd feel very comfortable doing that. I would have no problem.
President Trump acknowledged the meeting would produce little more than a handshake, with talks to denuclearize Pyongyang at a standstill after negotiations fell apart in February. A North Korean official called the DMZ proposal a very interesting suggestion. At the G20 summit, the president worked on a high-stakes trade deal with Chinese President Xi Jinping. He said Beijing agreed to buy more goods from American farmers, and the U.S. will make it easier for Chinese students to obtain green cards.
We will be continuing to negotiate, and I promise that for at least the time being, we're not going to be lifting tariffs on China.
Mr. Trump faced many questions about why that tough talk went missing when he spoke with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman about the killing of journalist Jamal Khashoggi.
Nobody so far has pointed directly a finger at the future king of Saudi Arabia.
But his own CIA concluded the Crown Prince ordered the murder. The president also defended this exchange with Russian President Vladimir Putin, in which he appeared to poke fun at Moscow's meddling in U.S. elections.
Did you tell him there would be
we
serious consequences?
talked about it. You know, we've talked about it before. You know, he denies it totally, by the way.
This was the first time the two leaders met since the Mueller report was released, detailing how Russia interfered in the 2016 presidential election to benefit President Trump. Putin invited him to visit Moscow next year for the 75th anniversary of the World War II victory. The president said he will give the invitation very serious consideration. President Trump says his administration is ready to launch a series of ICE raids. Trump postponed the raids planned for 10 major cities last weekend, granting a 2-week delay to see if Congress could reach an agreement on immigration reform. Congress is now on recess through next week. Trump says he's sticking to the deadline and raids will start sometime after the July 4th holiday. A former NYPD detective and 9/11 victims advocate has died. Earlier this month, Luis Alvarez spoke in front of Congress pleading for September 11th victims' compensation funds to be extended. He received a standing ovation. A short time after his plea to Congress, Alvarez entered hospice care after a 3-year battle with cancer, and he died today at the age of 53.
It is my goal, and it is my legacy, to see that you do the right thing.
The work on the pile at Ground Zero took a dramatic toll on Alvarez's body. He blamed his colon cancer on his days searching through the toxic rubble after the 2001 attack. Opposing groups held protests this afternoon in downtown Portland. At least 3 right-wing demonstrations were expected to take place, one involving the Proud Boys, another organized by activist Haley Adams and the Him Too movement, and a third held by members of Portland's Liberation Movement. Rose City Antifa planned to gather in opposition. Officials say there were no known permits or plans for any of these street marches. Coming up on News 3 Now at 10, cleaning up the weeds with a little help from our four-legged friends, how goats are helping the environment.
Set your
The Honey Festival at Yahara Bay Distillers left guests with a sweet tooth smiling. The festival offered honey-inspired products like honey gin, beeswax lotions, and honeycomb cake pops. The Wisconsin Honey Queen even made an appearance today to teach children how to make no-bake snacks with peanut butter, coconut flakes, raisins, and chocolate chips. The Low Technology Institute was also there promoting sustainable solutions to environmental issues.
Local honey is as much as about the food and the benefits, the health benefits about the honey, but also brings farmers and beekeepers together in the community, really. It expresses the community in which honey comes from.
The festival took place as a part of the Preserve Festival, which happens throughout June and July. Preserve Festival is hosted to put a spotlight on feed kitchens, an initiative to bring about economic development. A tribe of 40 goats are helping control noxious weeds and brush in Sun Prairie. The goats are coming from Goats on the Go, and they happily eat up a variety of plants that landowners might find unuseful or unnecessary. Today, the goats ate wild parsnips at the Smith Crossing Community Garden. Goat owner Dan Teeter says his goats can clear about an acre of land every 5 to 7 days without tearing up any property. The goats are also fenced in, so they're focused on clearing a specific area of land.
It's very high in protein. It's fabulous feed for them. It's better than I can put on my pasture. I have a pasture that's full of nice long grass and alfalfa and stuff. They prefer this stuff way more. It's like having employees that are smiling the whole time you take them to the job.
The goats will be clearing the wild radish for about a week. After the garden is cleared and the produce is finished growing, a large portion of that produce will be donated to the Sunshine Place Food Pantry. The Madison Cat Project is offering a special on adult and senior cats. A Facebook post says the adoption fee for cats older than 1 year will be $4 for the 4th of July. The special continues through next Friday, July 5th, and you can see the adoptable cats on our website, channel3000.com. Let's take another live look outside at the fireworks at Shake the Lake. Thousands are downtown for the biggest fireworks in the state. It looks like a pretty clear night, but it's definitely hot out there, Dave.
Yeah, it's definitely still muggy and buggy on this Saturday night, that is for sure, but I don't think that's going to take away from the awesome display over Lake Monona. You can see on our WISC-TV Skycam the fireworks to my left and to my right, the Capitol. And here I am in the middle of the action. So the almanac for today, it was a hot one. The first 90-degree day in about a year in Madison, about 10 degrees above normal for this time of year. We have to say goodbye to the fireworks just for now. Doppler track showing any fireworks in the form of showers and thunderstorms formed well to the south of southern Wisconsin today across portions of Iowa and Illinois. No severe weather there. Any severe weather was well to our west across portions of the Dakotas. But as we get into tomorrow, severe weather could visit southern Wisconsin, especially during the late morning and early afternoon hours. In fact, we're under a slight risk of severe weather. That's level 2 out of 5. So we could be dealing with some damaging winds once again across southern Wisconsin. We'll have to watch out for that possibility. More on that in just a bit. We did see some fantastic sunset photos from the sunset tonight, and even a little bit of a sun pillar from Milwaukee. Amy sent in this photo. This sun pillar, because of those high-level cirrus clouds that you see in this photo. The light kind of reflects off of the ice crystals in there, creating the pillar-like appearance. So thank you so much for sending in that photo. As I mentioned, it was a hot day across southern Wisconsin. 90 in Madison, 95 the high in Mineral Point, and 93 in Boscobel. Those temperatures about 15 to 20 degrees cooler right now, thankfully. 77 in Madison, although that's still very warm, and 79 in Janesville. The heat index, not too much different at this point, but with dew points still in the 70s, very muggy overnight. And that humidity could help some storms get firing tomorrow. Strong to severe thunderstorms. In fact, high winds, the main threat, also some heavy downpours and some small hail possible. We'll go over hour by hour in just a bit. Tonight, temperatures falling to near 70 degrees, partly cloudy, mild and muggy. For tomorrow, I think highs will eventually make it into the upper 80s, depending on the timing of those showers and thunderstorms. We may be a little bit cooler, but still very warm and humid. So on future track, we do have some changes to the thunderstorm forecast. So note the time here, folks. This is 10 a.m. and still nothing firing just yet. So the thunderstorms have been delayed a little bit on our latest forecast runs. That is not great news for our severe weather prospects, because the later these thunderstorms roll through, the more time the atmosphere has to build up that heat and humidity again, provide the fuel for these storms to get pretty strong. Now, on our latest model run, the storms have taken a bit of a dive to the south and west, but we still have to be ready for some damaging winds and small hail with any thunderstorms that do form as we get into the early afternoon hours of Sunday. So keep an eye to the sky tomorrow, possibly another round of showers and storms late Sunday into early Monday, and storm chances aplenty as we take a look at the 7 to 10 day forecast. Humid weather sticking around as well. We slowly but surely cool down through the 80s, but that humidity really not going anywhere anytime soon. By next weekend, I think temperatures will be a little bit closer to normal for this time of year, so that's good news. And the humidity calms down just a little bit, but it's going to be tough to get relief from that heat and humidity over the next 7 days or so.
And those chances stick with us for storms and the humidity, both of them.
Yep, they're intertwined there.
All right, thank you so much, Dave. The Brewers with the bounce back tonight. Highlights from Miller Park coming up next in sports.
When Eric Thames made his return to Major League Baseball after playing in Korea in 2017, he had a homecoming in a big way, hitting 31 home runs. Now, last year, a little bit of a drop-off and some injuries, but this year, he's hit 10 home runs so far, almost more than last year. And we're not even at the halfway point just yet. Brewers in Game 2 against the Pirates tonight, down 1-0 in the first. Thames at the plate, throw not quite there. Christian Yelich sprints home, and we've got a tie ball game. Thames still at the plate. He'll hit this one so far back to the right corner. That's an RBI triple for him, scoring Ryan Braun. Brewers take the 2-1 lead. And he's not done yet. In the fourth, Thames goes way out off of Jordan Lyles for a solo home run. That's number 11 on the season. 3-1 Brewers. That would be the final score. Rubber match tomorrow at 1:10. Zach Davies on the mound for the Brew Crew. The Cubs and Reds at Great American Ballpark. No score until the top of the second in this one. Jason Hayward blasting that one out of the park for his 13th home run of the season. And it's 1-0 Cubs early on. Fast forward to the 8th inning. Bases loaded for Javier Baez. His 20th home run of the season is a big one. That's a grand slam. Cubs opening up the lead 5-0, and then things got a little messy in the bottom of the inning. Yasiel Puig, known for his stellar character, getting a pitch, hit by a pitch from Pedro Strop, and he ain't happy about it. Puig, you know, he's not really always on his best behavior. But anyways, the Cubs win 6-0. Meanwhile, overseas baseball fans in Europe getting a taste of what it's like to sit through a marathon Yankees-Red Sox game. First inning, Yankees up 1-0. Didi Gregorius goes to right center field. That's a 2 RBI double. 3-0 Bronx Bombers. Yankees scoring 6 runs in the top of the first. The Red Sox do respond, though, in the big way in the bottom of the inning. 2-on-2 out for Michael Chavis. 3-run home run off of Masahiro Tanaka. Tied 6-6 at the end of the first inning. That is not a joke. Anyways, final score of this one, the Yankees win 17-13. 19 hits for the Yankees, 18 for the Red Sox. For all those fans in London. Now, if you're a golf fan in Wisconsin, you got to be keeping an eye on the U.S. Senior Open because the top 2 guys are representing this part of the state. Edgerton native Steve Stricker, fresh off of hosting the American Family Insurance Championship, playing some of his best golf right now. The par 3 fifth, knocking down the birdie putt here. Stricker shooting 4 birdies today. He's still at the top of the leaderboard with a 4-under par 66. Meanwhile, Jerry Kelly, fresh off of winning the American Family Insurance Championship last weekend here in Madison. Check out that approach here on 11. He would birdie that one, shot an even par 70 today. So let's look at the leaderboard heading into the final round tomorrow. Stricker with a 6-stroke lead. He's writing some history too. His 54-hole score of 18 under par is the lowest in the history of the U.S. Senior Open. Stricker is looking for his 2nd major championship win of the season. The last one was at the Regents Tradition in Alabama in May. Now, Stricker and Kelly, familiar friends, will be paired together again tomorrow. They tee off at 3:25. So we all know what we'll be doing tomorrow at 3:25. Pretty exciting stuff for them, though. You know, Steve Stricker, again, playing some of the best golf that he has been in his career right now.
And for Wisconsin fans, I mean, it's hard to pick
it's
which
hard,
one
yeah,
they
it's hard
want
to
root
compare.
for.
Yeah, it's hard. It's a good time to be a golf fan.
Yeah. All right, we'll be right back. Well, we just saw the fireworks end on the camera. It looked like a great night. Definitely hot out there, but now we got storms coming in.
Yeah, with all this humidity in the air, it's not going to take much. And then tomorrow, we'll be dealing with the thunderstorms that we see over portions of northwest Minnesota right now, already severe at this present time, but it's going to take some time for those to make it to the south and east across southern Wisconsin. However, by the time we get to later tomorrow morning into the early afternoon hours, some damaging winds, small hail possible, also some frequent lightning and thunder, as well as some heavy downpours. But right now, temperatures are still in the upper 70s, so definitely warm outside still. A muggy night tonight with dew points still in the 70s, starting off in the 70s for tomorrow, and then the thunderstorms rolling through sometime in the late morning and early afternoon. Now, the later those get here, the more time the atmosphere has to build up that heat and humidity, the more fuel for those storms to use. So if we don't want severe weather, we want them to come through in the morning. However, it doesn't look all that likely. So we'll definitely be ready for severe weather tomorrow and be ready for the heat and humidity to stay with us.
All right. Thanks so much. Have a great night.